What's new? Scooby-Doo. This series is full of heart-pounding suspense, clever detective work, and lots of groovy moments, and this American animated television series started in 2002 and ended in 2006. In today's video, we've got an exhilarating journey in store for you as we dive headfirst into the intriguing world of the one and only mystery gang, the Scooby-Doo gang. We've compiled the most baffling and mind-boggling mysteries from the first season of their adventures across the globe, from the snowy peaks of the Swiss Alps to the bustling streets of New Orleans during Mardi Gras season. So buckle up and get ready for a roller coaster of excitement, suspense, and laughter as we follow the captivating escapades of Fred Jones, Daphne Blake, Velma Dinkley, Shaggy Rogers, and the lovable Scooby-Doo. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a moment of the action.
Come on, I'll show you!
The series begins when the gang arrives in New Orleans during the Mardi Gras season and spring break, looking forward to experiencing the city's unique culture and festivities. They found themselves staying at a housing estate adjacent to a graveyard, which they had to pass through. In the cemetery, they witnessed two spectral figures engaged in a fierce duel. Fortunately, a guide named Crawdad Mike came to their rescue and explained that these were the restless spirits of the Leland brothers, who reenacted their Civil War-era duel every night. The Leland siblings had such intense hatred for each other that they fought on opposing sides during the war. Upon reaching their hotel, the gang witnessed an argument between the owner, Lorelei Leland, and Cyrus Buford, who was pressuring her to sell her property. Cyrus was attempting to exploit the legend of the Leland ghost to force her into a sale. After he's gone, Lorelei introduces her brother, Taylor, who cautioned the gang against going outside at night. Now intrigued by the mystery of the uncivil Civil War brothers, the gang couldn't resist investigating. And searching for clues, they found themselves pursued by the vengeful ghost, leading them all the way to Cyrus's water park. During this ordeal, Daphne was kidnapped by the spirits of the Civil War ghost, and the gang had to locate her before it was too late. Fred and Velma devised a plan to capture the ghost, while Shaggy attempted to call Daphne's phone and discovered her tied up in a cabin. In a twist of events, they accidentally locked themselves inside the cabin along with Daphne. As they made their escape, they were pursued by the relentless ghosts. However, Scooby's Mardi Gras costume inadvertently frightened the spirits and allowed the gang to capture them. With the ghosts unmasked, the culprits behind the hauntings were revealed. Mike, the tour guide, and his driver. They had been orchestrating a scheme to frighten tourists and huge profits from the elaborate ruse. After that mystery, one night, as Shaggy and Scooby were returning from the movies, they were stunned to witness the mystery machine driving by itself. Alarmed, they rushed to inform Freddy, and the gang set off to investigate the bizarre occurrence. The van's lights turned an eerie green, its brakes malfunctioned, and they narrowly avoided a serious accident. Seeking help, they visited a mechanic, but to their surprise, the van suddenly started and sped away. Their quest to find it led them to the Mystery Kids, a group of talented kids who were the former owners of the mystery machine. Their mother, Susan, introduced them to her children, Andy and Mandy, and explained that the van once belonged to their keyboard player, Flash, who had passed away. Shaggy became terrified, believing that the van was haunted by the ghost of Flash Flanagan. As they encountered the third member of the Mystery Kids, Randy, on the road, the van continued to terrorize them. Somehow, they managed to survive the van's relentless attacks and attempted to follow it but lost track of it. Their journey led them to Randy's lab at the Technical Academy, where they were genuinely impressed by his mechanical expertise. Throughout the night, the van went on a rampage, causing chaos all over town, and Shaggy and Fred found themselves on the brink of getting arrested by a police officer. Desperate for answers, they returned to the Mystery Kids, who were rehearsing for their upcoming show. The mystery machine reactivated itself and made its way to the bend. Velma devised a plan to thwart the van's movements by covering it with a lead-line curtain to block remote signals. To their surprise, the person behind the commands was none other than Susan. She had orchestrated the entire stunt to garner attention for the Mystery Kids and get them back into the music world. So she came up with this publicity stunt to get attention for their concert. Her kids quit and don't want to be famous after going through all of this. And in the end, they dismantled the automatic components of the van to resolve the mystery of the so-called mystery machine and put an end to its unusual behavior. Later, the gang had an exciting opportunity to visit Las Vegas after winning a radio competition. Their destination was the concert event site, Newark, where they were set to meet the teen pop sensation, Lindsay Pagano. However, their plans took an unexpected turn when they found themselves entangled in the mystery of a deceased magician named Rufus Raucous, whose ghost had returned to haunt the Spackle Dome Theater where Lindsay was rehearsing. During their visit, Lindsay developed a liking for Fred when he saved her from a falling prop. The theater's manager, Del Stone, intervened, declaring that no show would proceed until the disturbances were resolved. Shaggy and Scooby decided to grab a salad from the green room, but were confronted by the hovering ghost, who tied them up with water pipes and then vanished. Velma began to investigate the peculiar magnetized floor. As the gang pursued his leads, they saw Mr. Stone running from them and hiding in the steam room. Freddy impersonates and asks him about the ghost. He reveals that Rufus has to die to be the ghost. The suspicious gang goes to Rufus's former assistant, and they tell her everything about the ghost. She provided them with a videotape from Rufus's final stunt, which indicated that he had not actually perished in the building. Velma meticulously analyzed the tape, revealing a hidden tunnel beneath Rufus's statue. Can they find a dark and spooky tunnel under that statue? A surprising twist occurred when the gang encountered the real Rufus Raucous, only to be interrupted by the ghost's appearance. They fled in fear and devised a clever plan to outsmart the ghost. Moments later, the real Rufus reappeared on stage to perform his magic tricks, with the ghost hovering nearby. Velma acted swiftly, deactivating the magnet that had been keeping the ghost afloat. The gang unmasked the ghost, revealing that it was Rufus's former assistant, Lydia Flanders, who had been trying to take Rufus's place after his disappearance. Her motive was driven by the desire to carry on his legacy. With Lydia exposed, the police arrested her, and the gang rejoiced in the success of solving the mystery. They celebrated by enjoying Lindsay's concert, marking the end of another thrilling adventure. The gang, again, including Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, Velma, Fred, and Daphne, arrives at a bustling amusement park called Thrill Ride Park. Eager to enjoy the exhilarating rides and attractions, they were warmly welcomed by Chris and Terry, the park's designers, who offered to show them around. However, their excitement was short-lived when they boarded a sky ride and a ghostly figure in a monster costume appeared, wreaking havoc and destroying the ride's control board. Thanks to Daphne's quick thinking, they narrowly escaped disaster. A safety engineer informed them about the park's resident ghost, the roller coaster, and Velma couldn't resist the urge to uncover the ghost's true identity. Meanwhile, Shaggy and Scooby embarked on another ride, only for the ghost to once again cut the ride's rope. Miraculously, they survived, and their adventurous spirits led them to the rocket coaster ride to see if the ghost would make yet another appearance. Unfortunately, the ghost managed to sabotage this ride as well, using a wrench to do so. Velma then gathered everyone in Chris's room to begin piecing together the mystery. During their investigation, the gang uncovered a trail of clues, including unusual furs. With a plan in mind, they decided to capture the ghost in the act, with Shaggy and Scooby serving as bait. They lure the ghost into the amusement park and race him to slip through the edges. Their pursuit led to a startling revelation. Beneath the ghost's mask was none other than Chris's own sister, Terry. She confessed that her actions as the ghost were motivated by a lack of recognition and appreciation for her contributions to the park's success. Chris always took credit for her work. Understanding her perspective, Fred decided to let her go since she hadn't harmed anyone in the park. With the mystery resolved, Shaggy and Scooby finally got to enjoy their rides at the amusement park, concluding their adventure on a lighter note. The Scooby Gang's next adventure led them to an exciting safari hunt in Africa where they hoped to witness the wonders of the wild and uncover the reasons behind the disappearance of animals in the region. They were joined by a couple, Honey and Henry Hunsaker, who shared their enthusiasm for the trip. Curious about the vanishing animals, Daphne asked the couple if they had any information, but Honey claimed to know nothing. Upon arriving at the Hatari Game Preserve, they met Captain Robbie Kambazi, their safari guide for an expedition down the Okuzi River. Captain Robbie mentioned that the animal population in the preserve was diminishing under mysterious circumstances. Velma becomes curious when she hears the word mysterious and thinks to solve it. As they embarked on the boat, Fred began filming a documentary showing Velma some footage of luminous, shape-shifting animals he had captured. Their journey took a chilling turn when eerie voices echoed from the jungle's depths. The panicked captain struggled to steer the boat away but couldn't avoid disaster, and the vessel sank, narrowly avoiding a tragic end. Fred's footage again revealed the glowing creatures, leaving everyone unnerved as they made their way back to the preserve. While taking a rest, the radiant animals suddenly emerged from all directions. The gang scattered to save themselves and ended up lost in the vast jungle. They soon noticed that the animals were turning a strange shade of yellow and behaving oddly. To make matters worse, Scooby and a fellow traveler's monkey went missing. The monkey had transformed into one of the shape-shifting creatures, but the group needed to find Scooby. Daphne checks his skin and finds out that it was just a complexion glow used for makeup in the Halloweens. The monkey returned to normal with the help of its favorite music and led them to a boat. In the boat, they stumbled upon other jungle animals, all caged. Daphne pieced together the mystery and realized that the couple, Honey and Henry, were the culprits. They had been capturing the animals and using the glowing makeup to create the illusion of mysterious creatures. As they uncover their scheme, an undercover police officer apprehends the couple, bringing the adventure to a close and resolving the mystery. After that, the gang decided to kick back and enjoy a well-deserved vacation on the serene island of Fajamanu. Their plan was simple: bask in the sun and relax by the ocean. However, their tranquil getaway took a sudden twist when they witnessed Daphne's encounter with a sea monster while surfing. Velma examined the bite mark left by the creature, raising her concerns. Their resort servant and guide, Sharky, arrived to hand them their luggage, and Velma decided to inquire about the sea monster. To their surprise, Sharky seemed well acquainted with the creature known as Madashandu, the island spirit. He led them to a local museum and narrated the tale of Madashandu, revealing that the monster had grown resentful of tourists invading its domain. Eager to get a closer look at the sea monster, they embarked on a boat ride around the reef and the island. When Madashandu made a menacing appearance, panic set in, and they desperately fled. The monster attacked their boat, causing it to sink near the reef. Fortunately, Sharky swooped in with his helicopter to rescue them. And upon visiting Sharky and Crunchy's room, they discovered some missing luggage belonging to other tourists. They returned to the reef, where they had previously spotted massive sea turtles. However, their peaceful outing was interrupted by another assault from Madashandu. To uncover the truth behind this monster, they equipped themselves with scuba bikes and delved beneath the water's surface. Freddy and Velma devise a cunning plan, using Scooby and Shaggy as live bait to lure Madashandu to the shore. Fred inspected the creature's rubbery skin, and to their astonishment, they found Charles Granville, alias Crunchy, inside a mini submarine. Velma revealed that Crunchy was, in reality, an environmental extremist, and he had used the monster as a scare tactic to safeguard the turtles' mating grounds. That's why he used the monster to do it. With the mystery unraveled, they enjoyed the rest of their vacation, free from any sea monster-related disruptions, while soaking up the sun on the idyllic beach. After that, the gang decided to visit a local store in town to pick up some space toys, but the store manager, Bottomsek, refused to sell them. He warned them about the toys coming to life at night. Velma offered to help solve the case of these animated or potentially dangerous toys. They went to the security guard, Claphammer, to review the store's security footage from the previous night. Velma inquired if he had any information about the toys coming to life at night, and he showed them the video where the toys wreaked havoc in the store. As night fell, the toys indeed came to life, causing Shaggy and Scooby some distress. On the other hand, Fred and the girls met a passionate toy collector named Harry Nose, who was camping out in the mall in anticipation of the Annabelle action doll giveaway the next day. Shaggy and Scooby joined them, pursued by alive dolls. They raced to an elevator, but the dolls severed the cables. Now, they decided to split up to gather clues for solving this mystery. Velma, Scooby, and Daphne come to the parking lot and meet Harry again. He tells them that he is a toy designer too and working on some remote control toys. While they were taking a rest in the store, an army of toys attacked them. They run and hide from those violent toys again, and they take refuge in the fountain of the mall. Soon they notice that those toys cannot work in the water. Daphne spills them away with the water, and they go to Harry to show him the remote they found in one of the soldiers' toys. The gang then formulated a plan to expose the culprit behind this perplexing mystery. They retraced their steps to the basement, where the mysterious signals emanated from. With everyone gathered, Velma requested Scooby to employ his glowing collar to sniff out the perpetrator. Suddenly, Harry confesses that he did everything and planted the transmitters in the toys. The police arrest him and they head back. However, Velma's curiosity remained unquenched, and they returned to the mall. There, they caught Claphammer red-handed, engaging in suspicious activities in a hideout. The gang convened and Velma commenced unraveling the mystery. She pointed out that Harry's toy designs were flawed, and that he lacked the expertise to create such toys. Harry's motivation had been to gain fame as the greatest toy maker by having people believe he had invented the devices. With that, the gang had cracked the case and bid farewell to the town. Later, the gang gets VIP passes at Piranha Movie Studio in Hollywood, California. When they enter, they notice that they have tightened the security of the studio. By the way, they are thrilled to see their favorite actors. Scooby and Shaggy, however, got spooked when a stuntman mentioned a ghost haunting the set and left. The studio was in the midst of remaking the teen spy classic, Spy Me a River, and the director, Vincent Wong, says they are sabotaged by the faceless phantom, believed to be the ghost of the original film's leading star, Rip Bannon, who was lost in a tragic fire many years ago. When the main actor, Chip Hernandez, starts to leave, Velma stops him and offers her gang to be their stunt team, hoping to crack the mystery behind the phantom. They go to the wardrobe for the stunt costumes, and suddenly a figure behind them starts to walk. In a panic, they fled, but Scooby and Shaggy witnessed someone exiting Chip's trailer. The gang was soon called to perform a daring stunt over a shark-infested pool, only to be interrupted by the appearance of the faceless phantom. He saved Scooby and Shaggy from becoming shark snacks and issued a stern warning: abandon the shoot or face his wrath. When they do not stop and keep shooting the stunts, the faceless phantom again appears over Fred. He cuts his bridge and warns them again. On Velma's stunt, he again appears to scare her, but Shaggy and Scooby save her this time. Undeterred, the gang continued with their stunts, attempting to catch the elusive ghost on a speeding train. Initially, they failed, finding themselves pursued by the phantom. Eventually, their strategy paid off, and they successfully captured the phantom. When they unmasked the faceless phantom, they were astounded to discover that it was none other than the director, Vincent Wong, pulling the strings. Velma says they knew the phantom must be someone trying to shut down the production. He admitted to scaring the cast and crew as part of a plan to gain publicity for the film. With the movie stars quitting, he hoped to secure another directing gig. That's why he played that faceless phantom. They all forgave him, abandoned the shooting, and head to Chip's other movie premiere, Modem 2. Now, the gang goes to the snowy mountains of the Swiss Alps, where they have been invited to participate in the Wilkinson Snowboarding Open at the world-famous Totem Peak. As the gang arrives at the resort, they hear from the sponsor billionaire, Bruce Wilkinson, about the mysterious attack on the participants. Velma quickly notices that there is something strange happening. During the night, they spot a mysterious figure, the so-called mystery sneak, making his way towards an abandoned ski jump. So, intrigued and sensing foul play, the gang decides to investigate further. Unfortunately, their exploration takes an unexpected turn when Fred suffers a leg injury while being pursued by a snow creature. As they delve deeper into the mystery, they inspect the cabin of a former champion ski jumper, Theodore. Now, recognizing the need to uncover the truth, the gang decides to employ Scooby and Shaggy as decoys to draw out the individual behind the snow creature attacks that's plaguing the competition. However, when they come face to face with one of these snow creatures, fear gets the best of them and they end up tumbling down the mountain, narrowly escaping the creature's clutches. As they continue their investigation, the gang encounters more snow creatures and unravels the mystery behind them. They come to the revelation that these creatures are not of supernatural origin, but are part of a plot to disrupt the snowboarding contest. The culprits have been employing sophisticated holographic technology to create the illusion of these monsters and terrify the competitors. Ultimately, the gang exposes the villain, Avalanche Anderson, and his high-tech scheme to win the competition to be famous again, thus bringing an end to the snow creature mystery. As always, they all collaborate to solve the case, unmask the wrongdoers, and ensure the snowboarding contest can proceed without any further disruptions. Following this, Daphne's uncle invited her and her friends to Costa Rica for a paleontology exhibition, and upon their arrival, they explored the vibrant city and captured the beauty through photographs. Eventually, they reached a museum where they were warmly welcomed by the museum curator Dr. Armando. The curator introduced them to Melbourne O'Reilly, the museum archaeologist responsible for the exhibition. Melbourne shared a legend with them, a tale of a dinosaur spirit and a curse believed to be placed upon the bones. It was said that anyone who disturbed these sacred relics would face the vengeful wrath of the dinosaur spirit. As the gang settled in to watch a dinosaur film in the museum's theater, an unexpected turn of events occurred. The dinosaur from the film leaped out of the screen and into the audience, causing panic and chaos. Realizing that something was amiss, the gang decided to investigate further. Louis Speda, the representative of the Central Valley, appeared and warned the museum curator of impending disaster. He urged the return of the stolen sacred bones to the ancient temple of Agazar. This prompted the gang to take a closer look and venture into an underground trail, which was the source of the dinosaur's emergence. While exploring, Shaggy stumbled upon what appeared to be raw gold, but Melbourne dismissed, saying that it's just the iron pyrite. When they encountered the dinosaur, they hastily retreated from the mine. Returning to the scene, they attempted to unravel the mysteries behind these strange occurrences. Their investigation led them to Heather, an art student, and Speda from the Central Valley. With the hope of capturing the elusive dinosaur, Shaggy and Scooby were enlisted to lure it out of the mine. However, their efforts proved futile as the creature remained unaffected. But Velma seemed to have cracked the mystery and called everyone to the theater. She unveiled the truth that there was no actual dinosaur, only bats, and the roaring sounds were produced by the museum's speakers. Furthermore, she exposed an excavator hidden beneath the dinosaur's skin. The culprits behind the scheme, Heather and Speda, were brought to light. They had been using fabricated stories to frighten people and cover up their operation of stealing gold from the mine and stashing it in the temple. With the mystery unraveled, the city could finally find its peace. Then the gang's next adventure took them to the NASA Space Base Station, where Captain Treesdale, the security chief, issued them tracking pins due to recent security concerns. Fred inquired about these issues, but the captain remained tight-lipped about the situation. Soon they meet a scientist named Janet Lawrence and ask her what the issue is. Janet informed them that they were dealing with some complications at the space station, which were best left unexplored. Suddenly, a shocking sighting of an alien on the ceiling sent them into a panic. Meanwhile, the director of operations expressed their inability to launch the shuttle under the current circumstances. Janet shared with Velma that they had collected space debris, including an egg, and when they conducted a scan, it had hatched. With Janet's permission, the gang delved into the investigation. While they conducted their work, Scooby managed to lock the alien in a storeroom following a confrontation. Now Elliot, one of the applicants to the project, steals the classified data of Janet but gets captured and takes them to the janitor's closet. There was some astronomical stuff that raised their concerns. Their focus shifted to the janitor, suspecting him of being involved in a plot to sabotage Janet's shuttle launch. Amidst their investigation, the alien reappeared, this time in a larger form. They narrowly escaped the alien's grasp and made their way to the control room. They make the scheme to capture the alien near the pool. Shaggy and Scooby lure the alien and run to them. Freddy turns the centrifuge on when Scooby hits him in. To everyone's astonishment, the alien was revealed to be Janet Lawrence herself in disguise. Velma explained that Janet had concocted the entire scheme to avoid the humiliation of her project not being ready for launch. With the mystery resolved, they celebrated as they witnessed the successful shuttle launch from the base after some days. A while later, the gang visits Italy and tours through the ancient cities. While they were visiting Rome and its fountains, Daphne tried to arrange for their hotel to pick them up, but their plans were thwarted when their train got cancelled. In a surprising turn of events, they ended up hitching a ride on a garbage ship, captained by a man named Guzman. He tells them that he is headed to Pompeii, the city that was destroyed by a volcano. He wants to reach there before night and before the gladiator shows up. He says it is said he survived the Vesuvius eruption as a zombie and thunders through Pompeii bringing mayhem and destruction. Intrigued by the mysterious tale of the zombie gladiator, the gang decided to make Pompeii their next stop to uncover the truth. They were greeted by a local guide named Alexandra Viggi, who led them on a tour through the ancient houses, shops, theaters, and gymnasiums of the city. Velma couldn't help but inquire about the zombie gladiator, and Alexandra revealed that this menacing figure only emerged at night. With curiosity getting the best of them, the gang returned to the ruins after dark, following the eerie echoes to the Colosseum. Once inside the Colosseum, they found themselves alone, surrounded only by the haunting echoes. Suddenly, the feared gladiator materialized before them, sending the gang scrambling for cover. To their surprise, another ghostly figure, claiming to be Emperor Caesar Silaticus, appeared and seemed to decide Freddy's fate, signaling the gladiator to eliminate him. Amid the chaos, Daphne managed to rescue everyone, but the gladiator persisted, relentlessly pursuing their tour car. Somehow the gang reaches the bay, gets on the boat, and escapes his attacks, and they plan in the funicular that they need something fast to catch the zombie gladiator. They go to Naples and rent some mopeds, and wonder why there is only the Scungomando company's building near every great location. Daphne says it's amazing how they manage to find places that don't have buried artifacts. Well, they go back to Pompeii again and lure the gladiator, but they end up in the water and crying for help. As luck would have it, the garbage barge appears, and Captain saves them. Velma couldn't help but ask why he kept coming back to Pompeii, but he got annoyed by her question. He says they have seen enough around here, and they should forget everything and go home. But they paid little heed to his words and continued their quest. They head to Mount Vesuvius along with Alexandra, who leaves them in the middle of the way, but they reach the peak. To their shock, they discovered that the mountain was filled with garbage and artificially produced lava, all part of a scheme to scare people away. Their surprise deepened as Captain arrived in his truck. Shaggy scares him, but the zombie gladiator appears again. Fred knocks him down and they turn the turbine off. In the process, Alexandra comes with the police and they arrest the culprits. They are again shocked to see the night guard, Hugo, under the costume of the gladiator. Velma explains that her guess is they're working for the Scungomando Corporation. But Hugo, as it turned out, is the vice president of the corporation, and he confessed to their plot of illegally stealing artifacts from Italy and burying them in Mount Vesuvius. Their goal was to create more land for the Scungomando Corporation's development projects. With the culprits handed over to the authorities, the gang returned to Naples to savor the rest of their Italian adventure. The gang goes to a baseball stadium to see Luis Santiago break the home run record, who is only one home run away from breaking the all-time record. Fred asks one of the players that he won the Meet Luis Santiago contest to meet him. They meet him and he introduces his gang to Luis. When the game starts and Luis is just about to hit the ball, a ghost appears from behind the keeper. He warns everyone to get out and throw fireballs at the gang. Luis tells them that the ghost warned him not to break the record. Otherwise, bad things will happen on the ground. He also tells them that the boogeyman is the ghost of all-time home run leader, Cab Craig. Fred assures him to concentrate on the game while they will be doing the crime solving. Now they decide to have a closer look at the exploding lights. Meanwhile, Scooby and Shaggy ventured onto the baseball field, where they stumbled upon an underground bunker, complete with a network of tunnels beneath the stadium. However, their exploration was cut short when the ghost reappeared, scaring them back to the surface, locking them in a room, and releasing steam to intensify the fright. Fortunately, Fred and the girls arrived in the nick of time to rescue them. They then turned their attention to the room of a former baseball legend, Bob Taylor, who had played on the same team as the all-time home run leader, Cab Craig. While inspecting Taylor's room, they were drawn to a mysterious, annoying melody that led them into another confrontation with the ghost. A wild chase ensued, with the ghost tearing through the stadium, even destroying parts of the enclosures. The gang managed to escape to the roof and drop the ghost down. When he gets into the catacombs, the gang follows him to investigate the tunnels. They find the baseball soaking in kerosene, throwing flaming fastballs by the baseball specter. They get back from the catacombs and plan to capture the ghost. The Scooby-Doo gang pretends to be the players and lures the ghost into a final showdown. After struggling with him, Scooby and Shaggy take him near the cannon and get a well-timed shot, and send both the ghost and themselves flying. With the ghost finally captured, it was time to unmask the culprit. Much to everyone's surprise, the ghost turned out to be Bob Taylor, the very man whose room they had investigated earlier. As they questioned him, Lewis asked the obvious question, why had he done it? Taylor revealed that Cab Craig had been his best friend, and he couldn't bear to see Craig's home run record surpassed. He wanted the record to stand the test of time. With the mystery solved, the gang, along with Lewis, could finally enjoy the thrilling game. Luis Santiago went on to break the home run record, and everyone celebrated this historic achievement. And there you have it, folks, exciting and mysterious adventures by the one and only Mystery Gang. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back again with some new stories.